Hello everyone, this is Husker Eurocat welcoming you to the 2023 off-season video as part of the New York Jets franchise on Madden 24 the PC. Unfortunately, the Jets lost to the Patriots for the third time in the 2022 campaign in the AFC Championship game. So that brought their season to a close. But we have a really interesting off-season to look forward to. First, let's go to who won the Super Bowl this season. The 57th installment of the Super Bowl pitted the Patriots against the Cowboys, who barely got by the Lions in the NFC title game. Dallas hadn't been to the Super Bowl since their win over the Steelers in Super Bowl 30. And this was quite a different story than their win over Detroit to earn a spot in that championship game. It was a crushing defeat for the Patriots, getting dominated by Dallas in a 49-21 Cowboy victory. Moving on to the off-season. New York is in a little better shape financially than they were during their last off-season, where they had no cap space at all. They do have $16.5 million this season, so we need to see if they can make any meaningful acquisitions this year. They signed a couple of contracts during the season, but find themselves with 17 players clamoring for new contracts during the off-season. So the Jets start out with offering a contract to left outside linebacker Lorenzo Carter. From my understanding, New York plans on leaving Ja'Kai Polite at middle linebacker, at least for the preseason, and see what that might get them. The next contract is for tight end Jordan Thomas. He made a good impact this season as the second slot tight end, and the Jets see no reason not to bring him back for that role. And that, everyone, is all. New York has let 15 players go to free agency. Among them is Jack Willig, Jakeem Grant, Antonio Callaway, Levi Wallace, and a host of backup talent. I would suspect that a lot of talent had to be let go since some of these guys wanted a lot of money to stick around for another season. Let's just hope that they're able to pick up some good talent in free agency and the NFL draft. Speaking of free agency, that's what's next. As we stated earlier, New York has $16.5 million in cap room, so I wouldn't expect just a lot of outstanding things coming as a result of free agency. Headlining this class is Antonio Brown. He's still a respectable 86 overall, but one can't help see the age situation and think he might only last a season or maybe even two. And there we see Jack Willig and Antonio Callaway in the top 10, and I'm sure they'll command a pretty good sum above the fair offer line. From what I can tell, the Jets need help at a middle linebacker for sure, and on the defensive line, yeah, they need help there too, especially the end positions. The first player that the Jets give an offer to is Mecole Hardman. Another find is halfback Josh Jacobs. Now, this is interesting because I would suspect that either Bell or Jackson would need to go if this is going to work, and the Jets expressing interest in such a high-level player kind of confirms that thought. And here is your middle linebacker help. Kenny Young is going to be offered a contract, and from what I can tell, New York is going all in for him. 109 points puts them comfortably in the lead over Chicago. The Jets also make an offer to right end Sam Hubbard, which he accepts along with Josh Jacobs and Mecole Hardman. Oh no! The contract for Kenny Young is rejected. Oh, so the middle linebacker help is not going to happen, at least not from Young anyway. He ended up signing with the Vikings. The only thing that I can think of is that he's a field general, and maybe he didn't want to be in the second slot behind Avery Williamson. I'm just not sure. I guess we can find out when the final rosters come out, and we can see where he ends up on the Minnesota roster. So the results of free agency acquisitions are as follows. We already know about Jacobs and Hardman, but the Jets find a talent to slide in the middle linebacker spot. Jared Davis is acquired to fill that spot, which New York figures that they got a good deal with him. All he needs to do is prove it on the field. And Terry McLaurin is another acquisition and adds some speed to the wideout position. But I wonder, with his catching ability, will he be a little competition for that slot receiver spot? And finally, a little more depth at the defensive end spot in Zach Allen. Now we get to see where some of the top talent players went to. AB goes to the Ravens. Chris Harris goes to the Broncos, and Jack Willig, the former offensive lineman, left tackle with the Jets, goes to the Raiders. Callaway goes to Washington, and Royce Freeman goes to the Patriots. Now, New York had contemplated putting in an offer, but now they get to look forward to facing him twice next season. And now it comes in at a trade alert for Le'Veon Bell. He's been traded to the Eagles for a 3rd, 6th, and 7th round pick, all in this year's draft. Oh boy. I just don't know. I wouldn't jump up and down for that trade, but it does give the Jets a little more draft capital to work with. So our suspicions are confirmed, and it's Bell that moves on, and the Jets stay with the younger of the two rock carriers. Well, now it's up to the NFL draft and what can be done with getting a little more talent. Big news, folks. We have been banned from the Jets war room and will not be able to see any of their deliberations. Who on earth made that decision? There must be a madman at the heart of this. I can't believe it. The best that we can do is a recap of the draft and see what kind of talent the Jets were able to score. With their first round pick, the Jets go defense. Strong safety Jerron Mason out of Tennessee. He comes in at a 76 overall and a hidden development talent. So we won't get to see what that is up front, but at least we know that he'll be a star talent at the lowest. In the second round, New York settles on defense again. Right outside linebacker DeMarcus Faulkner out of Vandy is selected, another hidden development player, and currently a 70 overall. And with speed and acceleration attributes like that, his speed will be put to good use, I'm sure. Next, the Jets have 3 third-round picks, and the first is the 5th round projected and 1st round talent player out of Oklahoma State, left end Cade Hoffman. And another hidden development talent here, folks. That makes the first 3 picks at least star development players. We'll find out as the season goes on. Hoffman may not be a day 1 starter, but I would think that it would be a waste not to plug him in a backup role from the get-go. With pick number 4, the Jets stay with defense. Defensive tackle Javonte Loud out of Miami is selected. And rounding out the third round is a switch to offense and another hidden development talent. Right tackle Spencer Kemp out of Arizona State is the selection. He seems to be strong enough, but he's going to need some help on some of his blocking attributes to move him into a starting role down the line. Now into the fourth round, New York selects wide receiver Rashard Mays out of Eastern Michigan. And other than having a bit of speed, he may be destined for the practice squad. Still in the fourth round, the Jets take what might be their first bust of the draft. At 55 overall, they select middle linebacker Josh Owens. Not sure that he'll even make the practice squad, but that's what preseason is for, right? Now into the fifth round, New York selects another defensive lineman, right end Benjamin Gaffney out of Texas A&M. Another player that may be suited for the practice squad. The Jets' next 4 picks may not make the squad at all, so I have to question again, who was in charge behind New York's closed doors? In the middle of the 7th round, though, a solid pick is made for the offensive line. Robert Overton, right tackle out of Utah, is taken at 70 overall, will make a solid day 1 backup for Jeremy Irons. And the Jets' final pick was quarterback Barry Batch out of Washington State. At a 57 overall, he's going to need to show some brilliant stuff in preseason. So out of 13 picks in the 2023 draft, the Jets may have 7, maybe 8 players that could possibly make the team, whether on the regular roster or the practice squad. What I think will be most eagerly awaited will be seeing what kind of development rates all these hidden dev rate players will possess. I counted 4 players that will, at the very least, be a star development talent. So after a couple of acquisitions to fill in the preseason roster via free agents, the preseason roster looks like this. Wes Oberg out of Utah is one of those that happens to be undrafted and has shown a bit of promise in the training field. Look out, Barry Batch. If the Jets can afford the salary cap hit, they really need another halfback to fill in preseason roster. Left tackle Seth Smith took over for Jack Willig last year due to some issues that Willig was having protecting Darnold from sacks, so the Jets are hoping that he can be the impact player that he was a season ago and keep the defense out of the backfield. And you can also see the rookie Robert Overton in the backup role. I just have a feeling that he'll be a swing player for the Jets between the left and right side. The only problem spot will be in the center slot. There may be some O-line musical chairs because I don't see the 3 backups being viable answers for the long haul. Cade Hoffman is already slated as the backup for Leonard Williams, so seeing this progress will be exciting to say the least. Blake Cashman has been moved back outside, and taking his place inside will be, of course, Ja'Kai Polite. And he's going to have some stiff competition from Jared Davis. I just have a feeling. DeMarcus Faulkner is currently listed as number 4 on the depth chart, but I just have a feeling about this kid that he may prove to be better in preseason ball than either Lee or Briscoe. New York is taking a chance this season that after that rookie performance by Robert Ramirez, he's going to be the answer at corner for the outgoing Levi Wallace, who is now, by the way, with Washington. I wonder about the Jets' #1 pick this season playing behind Jamal Adams. Adams has 5 more seasons on his contract with the Jets, and Mason could play playing backup for quite some time. I'm just thinking that this kid could shine if given more of a shot, but learning from the best in the NFL might do him some good as well. Well, that'll do it for our presentation of the 2023 Jets offseason. Next, we'll see the 2023 preseason. I'm going to try to fit all 4 games into one episode so we can get through the preseason and into the games that really make a difference when it comes to the postseason. The Jets fell 2 points short of making it to the Super Bowl, and this next season will be a quest for a second ring in the series. Will the newly drafted talent prove that they can make the grade, or will the skill of the experienced free agents take control in the preseason? Be with us to find out as the Jets try to make a sweep of the preseason schedule. We'll be starting out at home in the dark. Well, at night anyway. And until I see you back here at MetLife Stadium for the Jets and Titans, this is Husker Eurocat saying so long for now, and have a good day, everyone.